I'm going to eat a fake rabbit meat cutlet, a massive steak, and I'm going to talk about StarCraft 2 recent tournament that took place. First of all, I want to show you how my fake rabbit looks like. So that's the thing right here. That's what they call a fake rabbit. It's pretty much a massive chunk of meat, and that's it. I'm going to use some bread with it also. And a cup of water. I'm going to talk specifically about 2018 AfreecaTV GSL Super Tournament 1. So there's going to be a series of these kind of tournaments in 2018. The rabbit tastes amazing. has a good stake. No doubts about that. 2018 AfreecaTV GSL Super Tournament 1. It's an offline tournament in South Korea. The total payout is just over $28,000. It is held or was held in 2018 April. Obviously, year over year the date can change. Its location is Seoul, so that's South Korea. Single elimination bracket. So first of all, there's the qualifier. Players are divided into 7 groups. Double elimination with top 2 advancing to the main tournament. All rounds are best of 3. Then there's the main tournament, which is the one I'm going to talk about. Single elimination bracket. Round of 16, best of 5. Quarterfinals, best of 5. Semifinals, best of 5. And finals, best of 7. Best of 5 pretty much means that there are up to 5 matches played, and the player that gains the first 3 wins can achieve victory. So that does not necessarily mean that all 5 matches have to be played. If a player wins 3-0, he goes to the next round. If he wins 3-2, well, that's the best of 5. Map pool. 7 maps. Acid Plant, Backwater, Blackpink, Catalyst, Darkness, Sanctuary, Eastwatch, and Neon Violet Square. First place gets from the over to $28,000 payout. To be precise, it's 28,185 USD. The first place gets a nice profit of 11,274. Not sure how much you would get after tax, but that's still a reasonable amount of money. He gets WCS KR points, that's 1,500. The second place gets $4,698. Also gets 1,050 WCS KR points. So those KR points are pretty much 2018 StarCraft 2 World Championship Series Korea. And players competing in 2018 WCS, Korean Leagues and Global Events will be able to earn points. And this will give them better standing. Furthermore, the third and fourth places get $2,349 and 675 WCS KR points. Now let's talk about the bracket. First of all, the first match. Maru versus Su. Maru the Terran versus Protoss. No, sorry, not Protoss, Zerg Su. Maru wins 3-1 and moves on to the quarterfinals. Classic Protoss versus SOS Protoss. Classic wins 3-2 and moves on to the quarterfinals. Dark Zerg versus Alive Terran. Dark wins 3-0 and moves on to the quarterfinals. True Zerg versus Protoss Trust. True wins 3-2 and moves on to the quarterfinals. Innovation versus Rogue. That's Terran Innovation versus Zerg Rogue. Innovation wins 3-1. Zest versus Hero. That's Protoss versus Protoss. Hero wins 3-1. Gumiho versus Solar. Solar wins 3-1. That's Zerg winning versus the Terran. Bayern versus Stats. Stats wins 3-0. That means the Protoss has prevailed over the Terran player Bayern. Now what do we have in the quarterfinals? Maru versus Classic. That's Maru Terran versus Protoss Classic. Dark versus True. That's Zerg versus Zerg. Innovation versus Hero. That's Innovation Terran versus Protoss Hero. And Solar versus Stats. Solar Zerg. And Stats represent the Protoss. First of all, Maru versus Classic. That's Terran versus Protoss. And Classic, the Protoss wins 3-1, moves on to the semifinals. Dark versus True. That's Zerg versus Zerg. Dark prevails 3-2. Previously, Classic has won 3-1. Innovation versus Hero. That's Innovation Terran versus Protoss Hero. And Hero wins 3-2. So that's Protoss prevails over Terran. And Solar versus Stats. Stats wins with his Protoss race over the Zerg Solar race 3-2. Moves on to the semifinals. So interesting thing to note here is that Dark versus True, Innovation versus Hero, Solar versus Stats, so that's the second, third and fourth matches I talked about, ends 3-2, while the first match, Maru versus Classic, ends 3-1. So an interesting thing to note is that 3 out of 4 matches in the quarterfinals ended up with the result of 3-2. So that means those were really close matches where at some point both players had at least 2 wins under their belt, and it was really tight situation. And you left the game. Semifinals. Classic versus Dark. Classic the Protoss versus Dark the Zerg. Dark wins 3-1. Stats versus Hero. That's Protoss versus Protoss, and Stats wins 3-1. Both of these semifinal matches have been ended with the result of 3-1. Now it's the final. Dark versus Stats. All the players up until now, and even now, and even in the finals, have been from South Korea. So that's a South Korean tournament, just in case you didn't know or didn't caught it. Dark versus Stats. That's Dark Zerg versus Stats Protoss. Zerg versus Protoss. In the first encounter, on a Neon Violet Square, Stats wins. In the second encounter, on Acid Plant, Dark wins. In the third encounter, on Blackwater map, Dark wins. Then on Catalyst map, Dark wins also. So we have a result of 3-1 now, after 4 matches. And Dark is winning. He just needs one more win and he's the champion. However, on Blackpink, Stats wins on Eastwatch map stats wins, and on a final and most important match on Darkness Sanctuary stats wins and prevails over Dark. It looks like Dark only needed one win, however he lost the next 3 matches and Stats has gained championship title of the champion. The first place Stats, the Protoss player. The second place Dark, the Zerg player. Third and fourth places Classic and Hero, both are Protoss players, so we see that the first, third and fourth places were being held by Protoss players and the second place is held by the Zerg player. And you left the game.